And we are live. Welcome to Life with Brock Collector Spotlight. This is a series I've been doing for the last several weeks where I invite collectors, YouTubers, ACBA practitioners, customizers, people from all over the nerd world, and I interview them just so that you can get to know them. And actually, it's a little bit selfish. I want to get to know them too. So today we have a Collector Spotlight number 8. And before I announce our guest, if you haven't been paying attention, I am going to do an unboxing, and maybe that will give you a clue of who I have on tonight. Hello to the chat. As those of you that haven't been on here before, just know that I do monitor the chat a little bit, but sometimes I get a little bit distracted. So if I miss your questions, it's okay, because at the end, I'm going to open it up to the chat so that you can ask my guest all the questions that you want to ask. Maybe ask some questions that I didn't think to ask. But the first thing that I'm going to unbox here is from my buddy Eric Eisner. I'm not sure if he's in the chat yet. He may be, but we did a little trade. Oh, yeah. And can you see this? Can you see this? It's a pretty awesome cable. It's the Marvel Select cable that I am going to take the Marvel Legend cable, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to do a custom kit bash on them. Man, that looks awesome. It was a custom that I saw Mr. Beltran do, and it looked awesome. He did it for his brother, and I am going to copy as much as I can, and hopefully I can do as good a job as he did on that custom, so I can have that cable, because I will be passing on that new cable that's coming out, even though it looks pretty cool. So I did an unboxing. There you have it, guys. Can you guess who my guest is? Let me take a look at the chat. No box. Yeah, I took it out of the box. It was an old figure. He posted up. What's up, Ham and Jam, the Nightwalker, RYG? Who else is in the chat right now? I think those are those guys right now. And I want to let you know. Oh, what's that?
The sign's back.
So the sign is backwards.
Yeah, it's
so
totally not backwards for you.
Like your shirt is totally.
Oh, look at that. Well, that's funny. So I think. So this was. I had some issues with the little Google Hangout toolbox. Apparently it's having issues. So I thought when this was going to be displayed, it was all going to be backwards, because that's usually what I have to do. I have to flip the sign. So we wrote that back. So can you guess what that says? It says Life with Brock players, okay? Oh, man. All right, so just a couple of reminders, and I'm about to introduce our guest. I am doing a giveaway on the channel. I recently hit 1,000 thanks to my subscribers, and that's why I'm doing the giveaway. It's a lot of comic books. Go check out that video. And tomorrow, Super Bowl Sunday, I will be releasing a very special video. I did a little bit of sneak peek on Facebook. Those of you that saw that, you kind of have an idea what it is. Go check it out, players. Super Bowl Sunday commercial. So without further ado, let me introduce my special guest, and that is none other than Mr. Arthur Yoel, aka Unboxing Art. Art, what's up, bro?
What's up, Brock? What's up, everybody?
So it looks like we have a few people in the chat. I've known Art for several months now. I met him on Facebook. He's a Facebook friend, and we did a couple of trades earlier, or maybe I found some stuff for him. I think it goes way back to when you did that Spider-Man 2099 that you purchased. And I saw that unboxing. Guys, go to his channel and go look for his Spider-Man 2099 unboxing. I think it was probably in April or May of last year, around that time. And this poor guy had gotten like this sweet figure, and he's opening it up. Thanks, honey. And he's opening it up, and he goes to look at that the little cape flap art. Yeah. And he goes to put it on, and he realizes it's like chewed up bubble gum. And oh man, it is priceless. I wish I could show it. What's that?
I almost cried, man. It was just one of those things where I was so excited to get a hold of the figure for the cost of the figure. And the guy even told me when we were communicating, hey, it's a little messed up. And I'm like, oh, whatever. I just got it because it was that and the Daredevil. And I was super excited to get a hold of him for the price. And then when I got him, I'm like, wah, wah, wah.
Dude, oh my gosh. He did not do his video justice there. Just go check it out. It was epic. I felt bad for him. We got into a conversation somehow, and I had that on custom. I had actually used that old Spider-Man 2099 on a Black Panther custom, and I had that extra cape. So he ended up getting that extra cape, and then I think on my I almost said honeymoon, but on my anniversary, I was down by San Diego during San Diego Comic-Con, and I was out hunting, and and he wanted some. I think it was a Yu-Gi-Oh. What was the guy's name? That rabbit.
Usagi Yojimbo.
Usagi Yojimbo. Then so he was so excited. I found one. I sent it to him, and then what happened, Art?
Playmates had a defect. That's why I haven't even done the video. I still have the original recordings. Like, it was all messed up. And then I reached out to Playmates, and then finally I got a replacement after mailing it. But I just haven't gotten around to editing the film and doing an update. So I just have this, like, all this video just sitting there.
Man, it was a really sad time. I was excited for him because I had found something he wanted, he wasn't able to find. I didn't even notice it in the package, or else I wouldn't have picked it up, or at least I would have told him about it. And he sends me the pictures, and then it's like wah wah wah. It was a big letdown. But anyway, so I've known Art for several months now. We've exchanged messages. We've had conversations via Facebook and stuff like that. And he's a really good dude, and that's why I wanted to have him on here. He's a YouTuber. And he is quickly approaching the 600 mark. I think when I checked earlier today, you were at, 568 or 69 or something like that. So you're really close to reaching that 600 mark. And we're going to get to YouTube in a while, but I want to get to know you as a collector. I want to know what motivates you to collect figures and stuff like that. But before I ask those questions, where are you in the United States?
I'm in Maryland.
And how is it in Maryland right now, weather-wise?
It's cold. There's no snow, but it's cold. It's like probably in the 20s.
Oh, in the 20s. Wow. Would it pain you to tell you that I was in shorts and t-shirts here in Southern California, and it was almost 90 degrees outside today?
You can keep that humidity and that heat, man. But at least send some of the warmth this way, you know.
You know, it's so funny. The grass is always greener on the other side, because I love the cold. I prefer to put warm clothes on than to be in air conditioning. Man, it was just way too hot. I was moving some stuff around today. Actually, I wasn't even moving some stuff around today because I can't because of my knee. I had some buddies moving stuff, and I was just out there in the heat with them sweating, and I wasn't even doing much of anything. While you're in Maryland, freezing in the 20s. That's pretty unbelievable. Were you born in that state, or did you move there?
I moved there. Born in Michigan. And,
okay.
Pretty much close to Detroit.
Yeah, so you're used to being cold then.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this cold in Maryland is not Michigan cold at all. And why when you were saying about your friends helping you move stuff, do I picture you sitting in a lawn chair sipping lemonade with a big, really like one of those weird floppy hats?
You know, you weren't far from the truth. I did not lift a finger today. I have really good friends. Shout out to Don, Ryan, Dwight, who I think watches the show. Don and actually all of those three guys actually watch my shenanigans here on my channel. So thank you to them. Also to Mike and am I missing? I'll tell you what, Don, he is. I got to put him on the channel. I got to take him toy hunting with me one of these times. But that guy is 65 years old. Actually, he's about to be 65 years old, and he is buff. That guy, he does not look like he's 65. He actually can probably pass. Like, if you didn't look at his face, because his face does look like he's freaking old. But if you look at just his how in shape he is, you think he's a guy in his mid 30s, in the prime of his life. But thank you to him. All those guys that were a huge help to me, and they sweated. I didn't do jack diddly squat. But let me get back to you, because this is a collector spotlight on you. And obviously you started a YouTube channel, but there's a genesis of starting a YouTube channel. I'm sure it goes back to your youth. What what did you, how did you get into collecting? What was the beginning of all that? Where did it start?
Like everybody, man, when I was a kid, like you know, growing up, you know, I was born in the '80s, so it was like prime time for all action figures. Like that is like some of the best time to be a kid. You know, you're still dealing with the Star Wars figures, then you get into Transformers, Thundercats, Turtles, GI Joes, like all of that. And honestly, as a kid, I had, you know, all of like, well, I didn't really get into the Star Wars back then, but it was mainly like Ninja Turtles, GI Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, um, and then as they started getting into like the '90s, like the Toy Biz old school X-Men figures and stuff like that, and then McFarlane. But definitely goes starting with like GI Joe was one of my main ones.
Wow. And do you remember what was what's your earliest memory of a child being attached to any like line of toys? Like you mentioned, Thundercats and the Ninja Turtles, Transformers. What's your earliest memory?
GI Joe's is going to be always my number one spot. As you can see above me, like there, those are all prints that came from the IDW line when Cobra Commander got killed.
Oh, nice.
But as growing up, my like memory as a kid was I had the original Deep Six figure. He had this like turquoise-ish, like greenish blue color, and then he had like a bright pink helmet. And I was at the lake with my family, and I remember bringing him with me, and I ended up losing him in the lake. And that was like one of my most dramatic, you know, figure losses of the of my childhood. I was like, I have yet to ever get that figure back in my life, but it is still like out of all the figures and stuff, like it's still one of my most iconic memories. Another one was black the black with silver snake eyes. I actually think
You have that?
I might have one. Yeah, okay. I do actually. That's sort of a weird thing to have laying around. But this guy, I remember
Sweet.
I grew up in Michigan. I grew up in Michigan to where I was sort of like I started in Detroit and around the city and stuff, and then I moved to like the boonies, like Lansing, Pinckney area. But so we had like a dirt driveway that was like had like bricks and stuff sort of like all in it, and it was a circular driveway. As a kid, we dug up some of those bricks and made a tomb and buried this figure, not well, a figure like this,
Okay.
in a tomb, and we lost it in the driveway.
Oh,
And
no.
I could never figure out where that burial site was for that figure.
Did you start collecting the GI Joe lines? I know they're not. I don't think they're currently making any of the figures right now. But when they did start remaking them, did you collect those?
That's when the needle went deep into my arms, Brock. That's when I needed a counselor and I needed a doctor help, because that line, when I saw when they redid those classic figures and the weapons could come out of their little holsters and the articulation, my mind was blown. And it had that original artwork like card backing, and I went hardcore into it. And I basically didn't stop until they started getting into the weird 50th anniversary weird stuff, which didn't have the fancy card backs. But I went hardcore into that whole set. I have like totes in my closet right now that are full of unboxed ones. I bought two of certain figures so I can have one carded and one to open. And I need to get more display cases, because that's going to be like probably 2 display cases worth of GI Joes.
So if you would have known that needle was going to go deep in the arm, and you know, knowing is half the battle, what would you have still collected them?
I really do, like, because I do, before I started getting into like, you know, the YouTube collecting and stuff, I did art like all my life, you know, doing like graphic design and just as a kid just drawing stuff. And to me, like, having your childhood come back in a new format, better sculpted, they're little works of art. And I really think that's what gets me into collecting, is I surround myself, like right now I'm in my like man cave or office, whatever you want to call it. And the whole thing is just like surrounding me with figures and just inspiration. It's like entering my mind, You know, I want to, you know, when I'm in here, it helps me create, helps me think, and just like gets everything just going. I think that's the purpose of man caves and having a personal space.
Well, let's get back to talking to Hakish. Let me bring you up again, and let me take you back to those prints. Who did those GI Joe prints?
I don't know who the artist is. I know they're IDW.
Yeah, they look pretty awesome from what I'm seeing right there. That's pretty sweet artwork. And also in the back, right below the art prints, there's some like scary looking masks, some horror mask. And I remember looking when I first looked at your channel. I think when you started your channel, I think it was like 2 years ago. That's what you were doing at first. You were what? Can you tell me what the heck that is?
Those, sir, those ones right behind me are replicas of the lead singer of Slipknot, Corey Taylor's mask. And they start with like the original album leading into the latest album. So I was going heavy into collecting those because it was just cool to find artists out there that were making stuff, and I'm like start getting a little bit crazy and jumping into the different band members and stuff.
Right.
And then that's when I sort of cut back and I'm like, nah, I'm done up there with Corey Taylor stuff because he's an inspiration. So I just ended up cutting back from the mask thing.
Gotcha. And actually, let me take you back up to those prints. And I just thought, like, who's your favorite GI Joe? Because I'm sure people in the chat are going to want to know.
They have to be is it like Cobra or is it like any?
Okay, let's just say generally, a good guy or a bad guy.
I mean, bad guy. Oh, it's so hard. I'd probably say Zartan.
Oh yeah, that's good. Wasn't Zartan a twin?
No, that's Tomax and Xamot.
Oh, you're right. That's right. Gotcha. So yeah, it's been so long for me, GI Joe. I remember watching it, knowing it's half the battle. I remember how all the shows finished. I actually liked the cartoon, and I had some of the Joes. But thankfully, that's a rabbit hole I did not go down, and I'm glad they're not really producing it right now because I may be tempted to go back. Obviously, Snake Eyes is everybody. Who doesn't like Snake Eyes? And what was the white one, the bad guy?
Storm Shadow.
Yeah, Storm Shadow. I mean, who doesn't like those ninja-looking things? I think that's those guys made ninjas cool. When you think about the articulated comic book, icons with the swoosh, that when they did those, who doesn't want those figures? I mean, they just look awesome, and I'm just glad, at least for me, not to go down that rabbit hole. What other lines, other than GI Joes, are you currently collecting?
Other lines besides GI Joe, man, everything. Like I got blacks. Like you talking about old back in the day or now?
Now.
Legends, Black Series, certain NECA figures, Storm collectibles. I still go through and I collect certain. Is that my dog or your dog?
That's my dog.
I hear my wife downstairs yelling at the dog to stop barking, but I hear it barking.
That's my dog. That's why it kept on flipping over to my picture, so now I have it locked on you. So sorry about that.
So it's basically, in some pops, I'm trying to get away from the pop game. I'm trying to be very, very strict on what I invest into. I collect a lot of like concept art books as well. Certain comics, like I try to like avoid individual comics. I'm all about like trade paperbacks, and if I'm gonna do trade paperbacks, I try to do like hardcovers. But it's a lot. I collect a lot, man. It's crazy. Even some of those kid robot figures, like those little vinyl sculptures and stuff like that.
What was the? Oh my gosh, my dog. Honey, if you are watching this right now, could you go please bring in the dogs so they start barking? I can't concentrate.
I got a cat on my lap.
Oh my gosh, I'm allergic to cats. Start wheezing right away. See, I lost my train of thought. Oh, were you watching? Were you watching the show, honey? Oh, she's just.
You were talking about what I was. What type of lines of stuff that I collect?
Yeah, there you go. You mentioned Storm Collectibles, Marvel Legends, Black Series. What? I guess those are all the legend. Okay, now I got. I'm back on track. Okay, all right, I'm back on track. Sorry, man. The dogs, man. It's life with Brock over here. It's noise, and I gotta live with it. So do you guys if you're watching. What was the last? What were the last toys that you picked up? Did you pick up anything this week?
Last toys that I picked up, actually, I didn't. I don't know. Does pre-ordering count?
Sure.
I pre-ordered the Deadpool wave.
Yeah, I saw you that you had mentioned that. I saw that in person, and it looks pretty nice. I really like that red Deadpool. Which one are you looking forward to getting the most?
I would say out of all of them, it'd be really like Domino and Cable.
Tell me why.
I mean, started getting into comic books around that era when X-Force started being hot, even though I can't stand Rob Liefeld at all. Liefeld, whatever. I
Yeah.
can't stand him as a
Really?
artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a whole
Sure.
thing of he can't draw feet and stuff like that. But
Right.
but that's why. But we did get some really iconic characters. I mean, we did get Deadpool from him, so can't really be too mad at him.
No.
But it's really because I love that X-Force, that original X-Force team. And when that first comic hit and you just started seeing all these characters, you're like, they were all unique compared to the X-Men. You know, and then Cable just was badass. He always had guns that were bigger than him.
Yes.
You know. And
Yeah, kind
so,
like this one. This it's almost as big as the. Like look, this is exactly what he's talking about. It's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. And so like when they released Shatterstar, I was super excited because that Shatterstar, I had that figure. I even had the one that when they changed his costume where it was pink or like an orangish and white or whatever. But that white suit with the mullet and everything, I had that original figure, and like Shatterstar was my go-to. I guess maybe because he was maybe a ninja-y sort of.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
I like that.
Well, what's his superpower? I can't think. I know he's got a couple swords.
I have no idea. Just being good at fighting.
Well, let me see in the chat. I'm going to pay attention to you. Do you know Shatterstar's superpower? Let me know. I know there's a little bit of a delay in the chat, but I actually because Walgreens is having that sale at one of the local Walgreens that I have here. They had one, and I haven't picked them up, and I do want to pick them up, but I want to pay less than $12.99 because Rockonomics, you know what I'm saying, bro? That's going to cost me $14 even on sale. I want it for like $5.
And that is why I did the leap with the Daredevil wave, because I was talking to Plastic George, you know, and you know, with the Marvel Cinematic Universe waves, you know, they're going to be plentiful because they're promoting a movie. When you got the Deadpool wave, it's more comic based. Those are the ones that are going to be harder to get. And I think Paladin was the only one I wasn't familiar with from that wave.
Sure.
And I'm like, you know what? I went to like, I think it was like, and this is gonna sound like I'm plugging them, but I went to Dorkside Toys.
Yeah.
And basically they had them. It averaged out to where you're paying basically retail and then $5 shipping.
Nice. Nice. Not really, right? Or did you buy from? How much did you pay for the total wave?
Like $144.
Okay, well, you know what it is going to do, since you wanted all those figures, it's going to save you money in gas. So I think that's a pretty decent price, and you'll get them. Hopefully, you'll get them soon, and so you can review them on your channel. Nathan Simmons, of course, he knows the answer because he's one of the moderators in Syndicate Comics, Cindy Comics, and he says he's got the speaking of Shatterstar, that he's got the ability of luck like Longshot. So now that he says that, I do remember that in the comics. Interesting how they brought in luck as a special superpower, but I guess yeah. Well, there you go. So that's good. So you'll be getting them in. I'm telling you, I saw in person. They're very nice looking in comparison to the other waves that I haven't seen, like, you know, the lizard bath wave or anything like that yet, other than the reviews on YouTube and pictures, etc. But in comparison, from what I noticed, I think the Deadpool wave is going to be one to have for sure. Who do you think is going to be the chase figure?
Honestly, I honestly think it's going to be Cable.
Yeah, he does look good, and he's only one to a box. I don't think the Deadpools are going to be hard to get because they're two to the box. I believe well, maybe is it both the gray and the red that are two to the box?
Just the red one.
Just the red one. And to be honest, I think the red one is awesome looking. I think it looks better than the gray. The gray obviously is the same one for the Hascon exclusive, but it doesn't have the butterfly joint, and that red one does. And it's very comic book, like you said, very comic book accurate, and it does look like the Liefeld one, except the feet are regular proportion, so we can stand them up.
Right. He doesn't have that little like hood piece on the back, which is sort of, that old school Deadpool look too.
Yeah, I think he does have a little bit of something, but I didn't pay attention. So you're saying he doesn't have like that big cap on the back?
Right. It's just smooth.
Okay, gotcha. Do you remember the first toy as an adult collector, not as a kid? The first one that you said, okay, I'm already over 18, and maybe you were in your 30s or something. I don't know, or I don't know how old you are. Maybe you're in your 20s. I can't tell with that beard. But what was
I'm in my 30s.
You're in your 30s, so I guessed right.
Yeah.
So what was the first one that you got as an adult collector?
There's a lot. There's a lot, but I mean, you got me looking around. I'm trying to think. As an adult collector, I still have it. I'm looking at it. So I wasn't really adult. I was in high school. I was almost adult, I guess.
So you're 17.
Maybe I'll be.
Oh, you've been a nerd for a long time then, Art.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been doing art. I was the guy doing art class, making weird stuff. But I went to New York City for the first time with a good friend of mine and his family, and it was like my first experience in New York City. Being out in sort of like the boonies and stuff like that, and then being in, dealing with Dearborn and Detroit. It's not New York City, and so we went and we were just checking out all these places, and there were like this steps that just led straight down. I don't know. It was like I could have died if I went down there. It was like that creepy. So we're like, let's go check it out. Kids being kids, we went down there, and it opened up to this awesome comic shop. It was like floor to ceiling comics, figures, and everything. And my first investment was, and I still have it in box, is Spawn sitting on his throne of bones, holding up a skull.
Love it. That's awesome. Do you have it with you right there? Can you show us? Or is it too hard for you to get?
Can I flip the camera? Is there a way I can flip the camera?
I don't know. Can you? Maybe you may not be able to. Can you bring it to you? Or is it up on your wall?
Oh, wait. I might be able to. I'm going to unplug.
Oh, exclusive right here, guys. You're going to see Spawn on his throne of bones.
All right, here I go. Flipping. Did it flip?
Okay, cool. Yeah, it is.
All right, there we go. I'm getting closer, and that is.
Oh, yeah, man. That is awesome looking. Is that how much you paid for it right there?
Yep.
$19.95.
Yep. And so this sort of gives a little bit of my display. And there's some of my Joe Love.
Wow, nice.
But let's get back. I'll get you back on track.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's a great looking figure. It's more of a statue, right? It doesn't move, right?
Well, I mean, it's as action figure as a McFarlane figure can be. Probably
right.
Has like a hand jerking off motion or something like that.
Okay, and I think McFarlane does have an articulated one, but it's really pricey. I think it goes for like $110. I forget. It has a 10 on it.
How articulated?
It's it's super. It's fairly articulated, equivalent to a Marvel Legend. I just don't know if it has ankle pivots or not. I can't remember, but maybe somebody in the chat probably does know. But that figure is super awesome. I think it comes with a cross. I can't remember the name. You know what I'm talking about? Let me see.
Real chains and stuff.
Yeah, I mean all those things are super cool. all the McFarlane stuff, the sculpting is amazing. And obviously somebody like you that's into art would have been attracted to that. I'm looking in the chat, nobody's put anything down. So we're going to move on. So that was your first figure. And that was actually a lot of money. $20 back then it wasn't cheap, because I know figures have gone up in price. And that's good. I mean, you wanted it bad enough when you were young in New York to spend some money.
Right.
So what's your currently, from all the different lines of toys that you've mentioned, what's your favorite one to collect?
I mean, my favorite, honestly, was G.I. Joe. Currently, I gotta say Legends, man. Like they're the hotness right now. I know a lot of people are getting into the collecting, but it's sort of like it's between that and I would say Storm Collectibles, because Storm Collectibles, those Mortal Kombat ninjas. Have you had one in your hands, Brock? Have you touched one?
No, I have not.
They're amazing. Like they feel very solid. Their posability, like articulation, is just phenomenal. So Legends I like a lot due to the fact that there's a lot of different characters. Storm Collectibles, they're doing the ninjas. You just sort of have to wait for them. Really good figures. Almost like, I would say, like you have the waiting like NECA, how they release their stuff slowly. But yeah, Legends. I think Legends got it right now.
Okay. Hey, how come with somebody with an art background as you did? Actually, I should ask you this: did you study that in college, or is that just something you picked up in high school?
Started by when I was a kid. My brother is a really good artist. He would draw stuff, and as a kid, I would grab it and I would trace it and all that. And then eventually, I just started doing my own thing. And then I did go to college for it. Went to college for it for about 3.5 years, 4 years. So, and then I just stopped because I started doing stuff. It was before I moved to Maryland. I started doing stuff in like interacting with like bands and stuff like that, and just doing a lot of freelance stuff. Even got one of my, I did like a splash page for a comic in a friend of mine's, old friend of mine's trade paperback. He released his own comic and he had me do a splash page, and so that got published. And then working on a digital comic as well. That's just hammering out and going back and cleaning up a lot of the original artwork that I did. Because as an artist, I'm not happy. I don't like any of my art, honestly. I really don't like it.
Do you have anything on your wall that you can show us that you did? Anything that you're proud of?
Again, I don't like my art, but let me see if I have anything that is like close by that I could just grab and show.
Well, as you're looking for that, let me ask you another question. So it begs the question, at least for me, who is not even artistically minded at all, but I've started, last couple of years, I've done some customs, and I have zero art talent, zero. I have no background. I was an athlete in college and high school and whatever. That was what motivated me. I wish I would have taken art, but somebody with your background, have you done any custom work? Because if you have, I'm not familiar with it.
I have not. I used to do like I bought Warhammer and Warhammer 40K figures and I just painted them. I painted them. I bought the books to play, but I never played. So I would paint them, do the grass and everything, and then I would do, a lot of sculptures and stuff like that. I've never really dove into doing hands-on like customs, like taking things apart and like making it into something totally different.
But you, do you know how to paint with an airbrush?
No.
So it's all hand brush painting. Did you work with acrylics or oil, or what were you working with? What medium?
Acrylics. Acrylics was the main thing. Oils are too messy and a pain. But definitely acrylics, and then even some of that was that like model paint that's like comes in those tiny little glass, old school like glass little containers that you'd get at like a Meijer if Meijers are in California.
So are you telling me, Art, that you haven't gotten a figure and looked at it and said, man, if this just had a better paint job, if this just had better highlighting or shadows or something, this would be a dynamite figure?
All the time. But I guess it's the purist in me. I don't want to alter a figure from its original form because I could have probably fixed that Submariner issue if you've watched that video. But I just want to keep it as is. And I mean,
Wait a second, Art. Wait a second, Art. Are you telling me somebody with their septum punched, not willing to modify the original figure? Come on, player. You're like the perfect guy. You know what? Here, let me challenge you to do this. I think that you got to pick one Marvel Legend figure, and you got to give it your paint job, because somebody with your background and skill level, you understand paints better than I do, and I do somewhat decent customs. You can do a 10 times better job. And the reason I want to challenge you is because guess what? Hasbro gets a lot of flack for what the figures they give us. But you know what? The sculpt is there. The sculpt is there. If you guys go look at Mike De La Paz, he's on Facebook. He's a perfect example of somebody who takes the original product and then he gives it his paint job. And you go, oh my gosh, that actually looks like so and so whatever character. Even the movie
he's the one
figures.
that takes the head sculpts and like repaints them, and then he does amazing work.
Art, I think that's you. I think that's something that you could do. You went to school for art. By the way, did you find that art piece that you were looking for?
I mean, they're just sort of like my pages of the comic that I was doing.
All right, let's take a look. I mean, if you're willing to show.
I'm gonna switch.
I'm not pushing you or anything. Am I pushing you?
No, you're fine. I can show some stuff. These are all just inks. They're pencil and then ink.
All right, let's take a look.
Let's see.
All right, can you explain to us what we're looking at here?
Basically, it's just a scene where obviously got a little upset, scared-looking man, and then.
I guess I should have asked you, are these appropriate for children to see?
I mean, as long as there's some pages probably not.
Okay, pick the ones the closer to be appropriate. Then I'm trying to keep this PG. PG.
Really? All right. Well, I mean, I got like.
There you go. Oh, that's cool. Nice. And so that you do the inks. Do you have anything with color on it, or
I'm trying to find stuff? Well,
gotcha.
Yeah, you can't really tell what that is, but
it looks like he's eating some sort of. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what he's eating. Making me sweat over here. So what type of art would you call this? Because it's almost like the drip painting there, or not the drip, but it almost looked like the clocks. Who's the guy that did the?
Oh, Salvador Dali.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, he's one of my all-time favorite artists.
Yeah, I can see he's had an influence on you. The way you drew, I think that was liquid falling off for whatever reason. It made me think of the clocks.
I'm trying to go through some pages here that I can do that aren't like
super graphic.
Yeah, because I mean, this is very not kid.
Right. No, I gotcha.
I'm trying to find one that's like nipples and some. And all right, I can do violence more than nudity. So
yeah, there you go. I appreciate that. Violence is good. Chopped heads.
This one is
go for it.
Got some guys. They're about to break into a illegal pub bar, and you got like a little ram that's actually filled with fairies. So it's powered by fairies.
Okay, cool.
Ram the door. You got a guy backhanding a robot. And then I have like one of the panels where guys are spitting, and then you have the SWAT guys just clearing the kitchen.
Nice.
And then the nice.
Oh, yeah. People in chat, Michael Dodderman says, respect, man, that's some skill. Nice. Have you drawn any comic book, guys?
Like,
yeah, any superheroes?
I did. I had a superhero, and I called him I called him Pyro because I used that as a handle for a while, like playing on Xbox and stuff.
Right.
And actually, this is actually a really good one. I'll do one more and then I'm
Hey,
done with the
okay.
comic.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's check it.
So
Gangsters right there. Some was that Snoop Dogg and his cane?
oh, he's a fairy pimp.
Got a fairy pimp. So you like the fantasy genre, right?
Uh yeah, that's sort of what I go towards. I mean, it depends because I mean, I like if you've ever heard of the graphic novel, which is that's it's called Mouse.
Mm.
And that's really they're mice, but it's really based on like the Holocaust and all that type of
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
So it's it's really good.
Yeah, right.
Recommend checking it out for sure. But
Say the name one more time.
Mouse, Mauz.
Okay, Mouse. Okay, I'm sure that maybe some of the comic book guys were probably familiar with it because I do read some interesting comic books over there at Cindy Comics. By the way, they have a show every Thursday night. Are you in that group? Did you
I'm
join
not
Cindy
in that
Comics?
group. I
Do you
wouldn't
read
even know
any?
where to begin.
Oh, it's right. It's right there on the Syndicate main page.
I
It's
know
comic
that, but I'm
related.
meaning like I don't read anything like
Gotcha.
super up to date, like because like Nate Simmons, man, he has like comics galore. I'm like,
Yeah,
jeez.
yeah. I think he buys so many comic. Every time I look at his hauls, I'm like going, "Oh my gosh, dude, this is just crazy." By the way, since we're on comics, who's your favorite superhero?
Has to be a hero.
Okay, super villain.
I have three though.
Okay,
It's
shoot him.
Venom, Apocalypse, and Juggernaut.
Very good. Okay. I think that gives us a good segue to the news because we're going to take a look at a Venom figure in a second. So, guys, we're gonna just I'm going to share with you some of the news from this past week. Let me see if I can launch this real quick. All right, let me know if when you see my screen.
I see it.
Okay, cool. So this is just a story. I don't think the sound's going to come through. You may be able to hear it. Can you hear that?
Not at all.
Okay.
It's choppy looking.
All right, so let me just pause it because you're not hearing the audio. But this past Wednesday, 95-year-old Stan Lee was hospitalized, but he was released. So it's going to be a sad day, a sad day. And actually, one of my daughters, my oldest daughter, said this that when we run into the end of a Marvel movie and Stan Lee doesn't, it's not in a cameo, and then it's going to be to the memory of Stan Lee. That's going to be a sad day because he's meant so much in our world of nerddom. Are you keeping up with his well being at all? Is that something that interests you?
I mean, it sort of is, but I mean, it's sort of one of those things too. Like, is he even really involved anymore besides doing conventions and cameos? Like, does he really do anything?
You know, I'm not sure.
I feel
He's
like
got to have
he's
his
doing the
hand in
George
something.
Lucas of Marvel right now.
Well, that's true. He's definitely a symbolic figure, though. You know, he
Oh yeah,
stands.
yeah, yeah. Not
You
saying he
know,
isn't.
right? No. I right. He's not necessarily actively creating, or I could be wrong. I actually, I was on. I went by the set of Ant-Man when they were filming there. He was there, and he's a very friendly guy. He's very with it. So you know, you think of a 95-year-old as, you know, old and decrepit, which, you know, they are, but he was like his mental faculties are there. So I think he's probably a guy that people can still learn a lot from. And I think it's like what my daughter said, when he's gone, it's going to be a sad, it's going to be like an end of an era, because it's going to be coming here pretty soon. The guy's
I,
95 years old.
but is it going to be an end of era? I mean, I think he planted a pretty heavy flag that I think that I don't think it's going to be the end at all. I think everybody's going to take that torch that he inspired, from being collectors, creators, directors, that inspiration as what he's done for everybody. I think everybody's going to take that torch, be a big torch, small torch. I think it's going to keep going.
Oh, no, yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, the torch has already been passed. I think is Joe Quesada. He's the one that's running, as far as I know, he's the one that's running all the comic side of things, and he's he's steering the ship, so to speak. He's actually one of my favorite artists of all time. And but what I mean by that is like he started. He's he's the creator behind so many of the iconic characters, and you're right, it's going to continue, and there's going to be different new characters that are going to come around, but he's going to be gone. And when he's not maybe I'm not explaining myself as well as I should
No,
be.
you are.
But it's going to be, first of all, it's going to be heart wrenching because he means so much to the nerd community. I mean, when he does a cameo on the movies, everybody gets excited. It's just awesome to see him there. The fact that he's a part of those movies. But let's move on to the next thing, because now we're going to talk figures, and we're going to talk about one of your favorite characters. Tell me what you think. Have you seen this already?
I did. I'm excited for the other image. That's probably the next image that you're going to show.
This one right here?
Yes, because I missed out, and I wasn't going to pay crazy prices for a Carnage, and I'm pretty excited to get a hold of a Carnage.
Okay, but let's talk about this. Tell me what you tell me from an artistic point of view what you see here. Other than a glob of poo,
there's nothing there really. Like, they already gave us that entire figure.
Right.
Besides the little bit of extra plastic around his neck, which you could probably make out of hot glue and just drape it over it. And then if you really wanted to do a custom, you take that one with the nasty, horrible green paint for slime, I guess. Right. Cut its tongue off, and there you go. You got that new figure. Like, I don't see really anything new about this figure besides the weird neck piece.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
But what we don't know is the accessories. Does he ever come with the alternate head? What else he comes with?
You know what I have? The problem that I have with this figure, I just don't like the body. I think that head sculpt is cool. Hopefully they do have different heads, but when I look at this body, it just doesn't do Carnage for me. It really doesn't. I see Carnage, and maybe I'm looking through, back in the 90s when I almost said Liefeld, when McFarlane was drawing Spider-Man. And then I'm trying to think of some of the other artists that did Spider-Man that drew Venom. And I just see him as a physically imposing figure, but also agile. And there's a combination between having the bulk, but also agility, and you just can't get this with this figure. I'm looking at the legs. The legs really, I don't know why, but that boot really, I just don't like it. I don't like how it looks down there.
Well, anybody that watches my reviews of figures, you guys, like the thigh cuts and boot cuts, I always don't like them because it breaks the sculpt and it just doesn't look natural in certain figures because it adds like extra lippage. But this figure itself, it's like they gave him that bulkiness. But I don't think I could get him to pose like Spider-Man figures.
Exactly.
At all.
Exactly.
I don't. It just says, "Hey, I'm a big monster. I'm not agile at all."
It would. I know that they have. They're trying to maximize the profits. It's a business. I get that. I don't hate them. I'm originally from Cuba, communism. I love the United States capitalism. Okay, so I'm all good with that. We're the ones that are driving the market anyway, supply and demand. This figure does absolutely nothing for me. Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it have been cool if they would have had something like this and had in a bigger figure and to add a butterfly joint? How awesome would have that been? A butterfly joint.
Yeah, butterfly joints make the figure so much so much better. You just get a lot more posability out of it.
Yeah, you know, I guess the argument can be made, oh, but that also breaks the sculpt, and we don't want to do that, blah blah blah. But there's to me, there's nothing really that impressive, and I don't want to be a bash Hasbro. But I want to say that Deadpool wave was pretty good, and I think they've done really good jobs. I like the Ares, and I like the Hilla that came along. You know, so for me they did. They're doing fine, and they're doing better than they were when I first started collecting Marvel Legends a few years ago. But man, like I would have liked, I'm going to move on because I may take somebody off, and that's not what I'm intending, and I'm not really trying to trash Hasbro that much. But I think they could have done more since they've already, like you said, released this figure. How about some sculpting on it? Would it kill them to just add a little bit of sculpt, like
right.
have that?
Sculpt that spider
that's
into his chest.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I like the head sculpt. Yeah, giving it more texture, and maybe that's the problem I have. If you go back and you look, and I'm not sure if it was the Toy Biz one or not. It's the figure that it also came. It's a Venom figure that came with that scorpion tail. I know they reused it a couple times. I'm not sure if that was.
I have them.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I have a cat on me, so.
Hold on, let me stop sharing so we can go back to seeing you since we're talking about that figure, and then I'll reshare again. Hold on, it was on me. Try it again.
Oh, okay. This guy.
Yeah, so you look at that figure, and there's just more. Like the veins are coming out of his arms.
They got the shade, like the purple hue.
Yeah, there's a little bit more paint on it, and I don't particularly care that much about this figure, although I think it looks cool. But because of the feet, look at the feet. The feet are like super tiny on this thing. For the size of the figure. I know some people have used that for like a saber tooth body, and it works really nice. But look at it, just in comparison, what you got there. I think that is a better Venom. I think that's a better Venom, a better representation of Venom.
So, I mean, isn't that hard to add a couple like shading to it, and maybe even paint it where it has like a slimy, glossy look to it? You know, make it look like the symbiote is like alive.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That would have been cool. Let's move on to the one that you are excited for. Tell me what you're excited about this figure, other than the fact that you missed it the first time around.
I mean, we're basically getting a remake of a figure that a lot of people missed out on, but we're getting the weaponized hands with them. We're not just getting claw hands; we're getting like the weaponized hands,
right?
Which I think looks awesome. But it does concern me if you look towards the fingers, like that looks almost like it could snap.
Oh, this edge here, like the
like
claws.
Where the blade is for his blade hands, where his fingers are to the blade. That looks very thin.
That may be like a soft plastic though, like a bendy plastic, and not a hard plastic. I like the hands. I like the weapon hands. I know that Marvel Select. I had the Marvel Select when it came out, and the sculpt was really cool. The scale thing bothered me. It was too big, and it wasn't very posable. Even though it was, you have it.
I snoozed on it. No, I snoozed on it. I got the Venom one, and I just snoozed on the Carnage one, and then now it's like can't even get one.
Yeah, I sold mine. I liked the sculpt, but I couldn't deal with the. It was very hard to pose. Okay, let's move on.
I am not getting that garbage wave at all. That whole wave is
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it?
That Thanos, like,
okay.
It looks like a dad. It looks like Homer Simpson that lifted some weights and he's ready to like punish somebody. I don't know. You can't have a Thanos without a helmet for one.
Okay.
It looks weird. And it's like in that sort of, if that's representation of the movie that we're going to be getting, does that mean that Thanos is going to be actually helmetless throughout this whole, this movie? And that's going to bother me a little bit.
Do we know if that's it? If he's not coming with another head?
With everybody that's posing these pictures and everything, I have yet to actually see anybody with an alternate head. I do though like his body and how the texture of the figure actually looks, body wise, and his arms are okay. It's just like I guess the head. Like if they would have gave him a helmet,
right? It may have done a little bit better for him. One of the things that I'd probably say, I'm looking at the at the, like you said, the overall body. I think this figure. I'm not gonna, I won't be getting this, but I think this figure can definitely be improved with just a tiny bit better of a paint job. I don't know, and I can't really tell just from these pictures, but if those arms are painted, I feel like it may just be plastic. I don't.
Yeah, really shiny plastic.
Yeah, like right, and I think I almost want to say that the head's the same. I think I have a picture of the head in another slide, but let's move on. And the
No.
reason I say the paint is because when I first saw this, when I first saw this Spider-Man figure, I initially liked it because I love
What?
Spider-Man. I initially
Well,
liked it,
I understand you like Spider-Man, but look at the webbing on his face isn't even painted, man.
right? And that's what I said when I initially saw it. And but then the more I looked at it, and like when I saw this picture, I think that's what's also missing from this figure. It's missing paint, and that head does not look like it's painted at all, and it looks like it's like a dull plastic. And who knows? Maybe this is not the finished product. I don't know if this is
That would be nice to know.
right. I'm not sure if it's a test shot. I don't know. But and maybe somebody in the chat, and I can't see the chat right now, but I think these were coming out in Australia. So maybe this is the release already. Maybe this has already been released. If you guys know who Pounds 978 is, he did a custom Iron Spider. Go check out his channel, man. That guy's A+ customizer, and he. Do you know who I'm talking about, Art?
No.
Pounds
I mean, I
with a
probably seen
Z.
his stuff, but I probably maybe don't know him by name.
Yeah, Clemente. I think he's Clemente. I can't remember. Maybe Hernandez. I can't remember his last name right now. Maybe I'm completely. I know it's Clemente something. But he goes by Pounds with a Z 978, and he specializes on Spider-Man and Spider characters, and he does an awesome job. Just go and compare him. Go check out his stuff. He did a Dynamite Iron Spider, and I like. Here's what I can say I like about it. I like that insignia. I like the spider insignia. I like the gold on it.
Good about it.
Yeah, everything else, I think it's just missing paint. And that's what I'm saying, man. I think if you go back to this figure right here and you add a good paint job, I think the glove looks okay. The gauntlet looks okay, but
the texture on his chest armor looks good.
Yeah, the sculpting looks good. I like the boots.
Maybe he wouldn't be bad if he had a wash to him instead of just being that solid plastic.
Right. And that's what I'm telling you. It's worth like, see, I think somebody like you, and you just got to just do it and forget your purist ways, Art, for crying out loud. Use your talent and make the figure better. It is a $20 figure after all. I know $20 is a new standard, even though it should probably be lower. But man, just a little bit better paint job with this. Let me see if I have anything here. What do you think about Proxima Midnight?
No, I'm not impressed with any of them. They look like bootlegs. Like they're just not good. Like that iron. Like
yeah.
None of those. Like we need another Iron Man for real.
Yeah, I think it's just a popular character, so they go with it. Let's go back to Proxima because people are excited. I know that Plastic Addict and who was the other one that went nutty. I can't remember who it was, but they were pointing out that it has a double hinge at the elbow, and which is a new thing for a female figure.
And also, it's a love-hate with double hinge joints like elbows for female characters. If you do the double jointed elbows, then it really takes away from the sculpt of the arms. But this one, I can't even tell it's female. It almost looks like a dude with boobs.
That's so funny because that's what I thought at first too. But I'm going, well, you got the She-Hulk. You can maybe get a She-Hulk or another bigger femme right here. Yeah, I don't know. I like to see her in person before I pass judgment on this
staff.
Yeah, the staff does look pretty cool.
Armor bits.
Yeah, that staff does look pretty sweet. And this is not the comic Proxima Midnight. She's a phenomenal character, man. Oh, geez. That's a series that's really worth reading. The Infinity Wars. Matter of fact, it was a really good run. I liked it last year.
Yeah, you can actually get that in they have like a giant hardbound version of it too.
Right.
Oh,
And
why
okay.
that
Let's
like
talk.
they use that
Hold on. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that here. We have enough close. People have been freaking out about this head sculpt.
because they
Chris
got the
Evans
dot
not.
matrix technology where they're like the Guardians of the Galaxy wave, the Black Panther movie wave. They look fantastic, and then why
Yeah.
can't they get this? And then they're giving us a body we already freaking have, and then look at that nasty shield. That shield looks like it came from like
yeah.
the Ninja Turtles.
But that may be comic accurate. I mean, movie accurate shield. We haven't seen because there's that scene in the preview. It says, "Get this man a shield." They may be making that shield, and that may be the movie accurate shield. So that's something new. I didn't even notice that was a shield.
Again?
What's
Why
that?
That body again. That body we've had that body.
Yeah, that's true. Can we say anything positive about this face sculpt?
I could attach arms and legs to it, and then add a wash, and it's a California race.
But that's what they were saying on that preview, on that movie preview as well. Again, I think this is movie accurate. I think it honestly a little bit of paint.
The eyes look good.
Yeah, they do.
But I think it just needs a wash to it because that plastic is too shiny.
Right.
The paint they use is too shiny. Add a wash to it. Get a helmet, and actually, you could probably make a custom helmet pretty easily for that too.
Depending on the size, you may be able to use the Hulk bath. I really don't know how big that head's going to be. Okay, so that's the end. So here are the pictures in box. So and it looks like those are the finished product. Talking about Spider-Man, that's toy. I think Toy World right there is an Australian toy shop.
Then they can keep those in Australia.
Oh, how about this guy?
Out of all of them, he's the
Serpent Society. Yeah.
But it's Green Goblin.
Right.
Again, with the solid plastic, it's like
right.
You're using the plastic to paint, which is okay because it's.
Okay, here we go. Let's.
No.
Really?
Look at the face, man. I hate that face. Like I really don't like his face.
I'm not
the sword.
Yeah, I'm not a really. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, I love the sword. I love the pistol. I love his classic look, but it's like I don't like that skull face, and I honestly like the original Taskmaster we got, like the modernized.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Taskmaster. I mean, I know who the character is, but I kind of like this figure. I like the color combo on that. I don't know if I can say the same thing for this one.
No, like the entire wave is like if I did any of them, if I were to choose to, it'd be probably Serpent Society and it would be Taskmaster because I feel like out of all of them, they are the best out of the bunch.
All right, so here's another one.
Nope.
No on this Deadpool, right?
Nope. There's too many Deadpools, and I really don't need. I don't care if Deadpool's wearing an X-Men outfit. That's just me. And I know a lot of completionists out there are probably like, "Oh man, how are you not liking all these Deadpools?" And Lady Deadpool, I'm not really hard up for her either. I got the small one just for I can have Squirrel Pool.
Right. I like the way the figure looks. Again, I'm not, and it could be just a knowledge thing. I'm not really invested in the character at all. For me, from aesthetically, I like how she looks. I don't like the color combo in here. I know this is from a comic.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in it. I know there's going to be hardcore Deadpool fans that are going to get anything Deadpool, which is cool. So I wonder if this is. I don't know much about it other than I wonder if it's going to be an exclusive. But the one that I'm really excited about is this one, Omega Red.
Yes, I am super excited. But either you give me some alternate tentacles, or those tentacles better have wires in them. If not, you're ruining such an iconic character.
Sure.
That it's so. I just remember him in Wolverine and Colossus.
Yep. It was awesome.
Like the throwdowns, and I feel if you're restricting us by giving us limitations on those tentacles, we don't really get those articulation, those great comic book moments, you know, except for that pre-made noose, basically.
Right. But it's a great update to the old figure. I like the old figure, but this whole body looks good. I think that if it looks anything like this, hopefully those tentacles, it doesn't look like they're wired, but hopefully they will be. But I won't be. It won't hurt my feelings too much because I will go and I will put the old ones on this guy because I think this is. I've been thinking about doing a custom. I had been thinking for a while of doing a custom Omega Red. A matter of fact, I had it planned and everything, but when this came out, I'm like going, oh shoot, this looks pretty darn good, and I'm sure a lot of people will do the same thing if these aren't bendy. They'll go and they'll use the the old Sentinel ones. There's also another one that you can use. It's either the Sentinel or the Omega Red. It's the same ones. But there's another figure. It's a McFarlane figure. I have it in my closet right now. I can't think of the name of it, but it's like a statue that has bendy things. I'll just cut it off those things and I'll put it on the figure. And it should be fairly easy to do. And I didn't, man, if you guys don't know who Omega Red is, you go back to the 90s and start reading some 90s X-Men comics. Watch the cartoons. He's a great villain. Oh, man. I love this guy. All right.
Who else I wish I want to see brought to the Toy Biz Legend world?
Who's that?
Black Tom.
Black Tom. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. So, any last thoughts? Because I'm done with that segment. Let me see if we have any people left.
There's nobody watching this. Come on now.
We may be by ourselves right now. Or let me just double check the chat, and I can't tell. I can't. Let me know if you guys are still in there. The Nightwalker Cody Spring may still be in there. So let me move into the last portion of this series. But let me start. Let me just talk to you about YouTube right now, and I'm just going to keep it focused on you. Why are you doing YouTube? What motivated you to start a YouTube and do it?
Oh, I don't know, man. It was just sort of like a way of showing. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I think I started doing it for masks just to show off the masks and sort of like give back to the creators. Because the masks that I got, you know, it takes somebody to hand sculpt them, and then they got to cast a mold, and then they got to, you know, do the process. They got to paint it all and all that. And I just like to. It was my way of, I guess, doing it and giving back. Like, so,
right.
Hey, this is the world. This is where you can get these things, and you know. And I always gave credit to the artists and linked to where people could get them.
Right.
A lot of the artists don't make them anymore, but I think that's what it was. It just started doing it, and it's a cool way of it was just a way of capturing. I originally wasn't doing it.
Okay. Very cool. No, so then you obviously you moved from the mask and you started doing the reviews. So why did you start doing that? What motivated you to start doing that?
I mean, I watched a lot of reviewers back before certain things happened, but I mean, one reviewer I watched a lot of was Glenn Webb, and you know, amazing reviewer. Scripted, we've had that discussion. It's a scripted thing, but what he did was amazing, and he enjoyed it. He always kept it real, and that's what I wanted to always keep. I never wanted to give I always wanted to be unbiased. You know, I don't want to worry about, have to sit there and be like, well, I got to say this figure is great because if Hasbro sees this, then, that ruins any chance of me doing it. No, like, when I do my reviews, I just wanted to give an honest view, and hopefully it either saves somebody some money from investing into a crappy figure, or it can be a pain and cause their wallet to be hurting,
Very good. And do you have any goals for 2018 on your channel?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I want to do an intro for my videos. I want to add a little like outro image where people can check. Like, I just want to sort of update my stuff a little bit. But my goal is really to continue what I'm doing, keep going, keep pumping out videos as quickly as I can, and to constantly give back. Like, get back to my viewers and subscribers just because that's what it's about. Like, I'm not here to make money, and which, you know, you can see that's why I did the crumbling of the Patreon thing.
Right,
you know?
right. That was funny.
And I got a lot of people are like, wait, what? Why you dissing Patreon and all that? And it's just like, we all know who I was sort of taking a shot at, you know.
Careful, you can get some hate on that. But what he's talking about is actually he got me. He got me. He's gonna he did a video, one of his recent videos, and he held up a Patreon sign. I'm going, oh, we're gonna be talking about this on Saturday, play. And then it was a little spoiler alert, but it was a swerve on his viewers.
Like, what I do, I review figures, you know, straight up. What I do, is it a model kit? Do I have to take the time to put it together, to paint it, and then review it? Like, I could justify a Patreon that way. But if I'm reviewing figures, and if I was a huge channel, and I was reviewing figures and even got stuff for free because I'm a big channel, I'm still gonna make. Oh, and I'm making money from YouTube. And I'm gonna reach out to Patreon and have my subscribers pay me money? No. Nope, never. Will never happen, and that's why I did that.
Very good. So moving on into one of the last segments, I'm going to keep you highlighted here. It's the rapid fire round. It's where I ask a question and you have to immediately answer. It's going to be an either or. I may throw in some quick ones, some quick questions here for you. And are you ready, Art? We're about to unbox Art right here. You ready?
Go. Yep.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Hulk or Superman?
Hulk.
Joker or Magneto?
Magneto.
Justice League or the Avengers?
Avengers.
Lady Deadpool or Lady Deathstrike?
Deathstrike.
Metallica or Slipknot?
Slipknot.
That was too easy. I didn't know those masks were Slipknot. Okay. Do you fold or do you hang your t-shirts?
Hang.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Forks or chopsticks?
Ooh. Depends.
Wait a second. You know how to use chopsticks?
Yeah.
Impressive. Where Maryland? Maryland, there's okay, but never mind.
Sushi.
Sushi. A lot of assumptions there from Maryland. Oh, what was the last movie you saw?
The last movie I'm about to see after this is I purchased The Guardians, that Russian Avengers style movie that I'm going to watch after this. But
nice.
Before that, I watched, what was it? I cannot think. It was something. Oh,
so much for my rapid fire round. It's coming to an end anyway.
I don't know. Let's say The Guardians, that Russian movie I'm going to be watching next.
All right, so that's the end. And let me ask you this: so if you had, and I've been asking this to everybody because I'm wondering what's your most precious. If you're Gollum right now, what figure is your ring?
Oh, that's tough, man. That's really tough. My figure that's going to be my ring. I probably have to say. Why you got to ask that question? That's the hardest question of them all.
Especially to a collector that collects a lot of lines, for sure.
Probably my original Night Viper, still on card from the 80s.
Awesome. Is there anything I didn't actually? Ooh, I almost forgot. In the toy community, obviously, you're involved in the different toy groups. What's the lasting impression you want to leave the people that you interact with about art?
About art? Me?
About art, Yoel. Yeah, you. Personally.
Oh, okay. I'm always there to help. I'm always there to answer questions. If you're looking for something, let me know, and I'll keep an eye out for you. I'm always there to help and not there for self-gain. There's a lot of collectors out there that do that stuff. And jump into these groups. If you're not part of these groups, MLC Thugs, Syndicates, the Renegades. What am I missing? The Open Box Mafia. You know, I'm part of all these groups. I'm sort of like a Ronin. No, not one of those groups has claimed me, but you know, so I'm part of everybody's group, and I love it. You know, I've met a lot of people, made good friends through it. And if you're a collector and you're just starting, those are the best places to start because nobody's gonna sit there and say you had a dumb question. And if they do, they get flack back. You know, I reached out when I got that Spidey 2099, and I really didn't expect anybody to say, "Oh yeah, I got this cape." You know what, Brock? Not only did he reach out and said, "Hey man, I got an extra cape," I don't even think you charged me for that cape. I think you just sent it to me.
Yeah, I honestly I can't remember, but if I charged you anything, I'm sure it was only shipping.
Right.
If even that would have been petty.
Right.
Now
So
I owe you some shipping if I charge you shipping. How about that?
nah, I mean that's not even the big deal. Like shipping and stuff. Like when I pick up figures, you know, I never want to be like, oh, I'm going to mark it up. It's usually cost and then shipping if you're in a different state or whatnot. But that's how it is. That's how a collector and a collecting family is, and that's how I am, and I will always be that way. And I will appreciate everything that anybody's ever done for me. All the comments that people do on my YouTube, I try to answer all of them. I always try to comment back, and it's just like it means the world. Like it's something. I just appreciate people enjoying what I enjoy, and then having the Facebook families and groups to be able to talk about them because I can't go around talking to everybody about toys.
No, that's true. We're definitely an interesting bunch, and we're a niche community for sure. And since we're a niche community, I'd like to open it up to the chat now because all my prepared questions are done and over with. And this is your opportunity to ask Art anything. But I will be moderating the questions because sometimes you guys get crazy, and I'm PG, players.
Come on, so, I think I took it out of the PG realm a couple of times, Brock. I wasn't aware of the PG.
Well, it's gonna be. I'm gonna have a lot of splaining to do then. I think it's fine. Here we go. So we're opening up, and the first question comes up from Michael Dauterman. He says. And Michael, I don't know if I know you've been here a lot. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your last name, so hit me up on Facebook, bro, if I'm mispronouncing your name. Dauterman sounds about right to me. And he asked Art if they made an unboxing Art collectible toy, what accessories would they come with?
Oh man, what accessories? They would have a satchel with art, like a sketchbook and pencil, and then I'd have an AK-47. And a cat.
Oh, that's all. What about a nose ring?
Nose ring would already be sculpted in. It wouldn't be a separate piece. People would lose that, bro. Come on now.
That's a good. Accessories. Yeah, that would be cool. But that you could be like a collectible if because that's that one piece that everybody misses. Like the Millennium Falcon's always missing some bits there and there. When did you get that nose septum, by the way?
When I came to Maryland.
Gotcha.
Because I have my ears are gauged and I have a labret piercing, which I almost removed. I was just like, I'm sort of done with it. But I got this when I was in Maryland, so I sort of had the nose for it. Not everybody has the nose for it.
No, you need some space for sure to work that sucker in. Not Another Retro Channel asks, what's your favorite musician figure that has been released?
Musician figure that's been released. Ooh.
Do you have any?
I want to say I do, but I can't think of.
Like I've only seen a couple, the Kiss figures, and then Queen, Freddie Mercury. I've seen those. I can't think of anybody else.
I was honestly I don't know if I have it, but there was a Jimi Hendrix figure that was released, along with I think when they did like the Metallica, Eminem, and stuff like that. I think it might have been a McFarlane.
Huh.
But I'd probably go with like Jimi Hendrix, and if I'm wrong with that figure, I'd probably go with the Jimi Hendrix pop with the guitar on fire. Like,
oh, cool. Michael Dauterman, apparently I am pronouncing your name. Thank you very much for letting me know. Shoki reviews David Draymond or Corey Taylor?
Corey Taylor.
Can you those Slipknot guys?
No. Corey Taylor, Slipknot. David Draymond, I want to say is Disturbed.
Disturbed.
And yeah, just Corey Taylor has the way he writes. Um, he has a track where he's just sort of like talking in like his Stone Sour albums, and he said he wrote those in like 5 minutes. And if you listen to it, and you're like, wow, you wrote this in 5 minutes. It's impressive. Big vocabulary and just he's a smart guy.
Shockey says it's he's disturbed. The Night Walker asks Slipknot or Mushroomhead.
That is the battle. I have much respect for Mushroomhead. I love Mushroomhead. It was basically Mushroomhead I enjoyed up until Righteous Butterfly. That was sort of like getting weird, and then the band started being weird, sort of like bringing in a girl, losing one of their singers, and blah 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 blah. All that drama. They lost a lot of members, and it's like Slipknot. It's always been pretty good.
That's funny because I've never heard of Mushroomhead, but I've heard of Slipknot, and I don't listen to that type of music. So I guess Slipknot would be a little bit more mainstream, right, than Mushroomhead. A little bit more well known, maybe.
I mean, they sort of took the spotlight in a sense because it was during that same era. They were both like sort of mask-wearing bands. But I've been to a lot of Mushroomhead shows, and I've been to a lot of Slipknot shows, and they're both equally great live. Mushroomhead now is probably still good. Just their change up of their lineup is just not my cup of tea.
And it's Shoki. I'm not perfect, but I'll try.
No, I think it is Shoki.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Shoki.
Okay.
Shoki.
Okay.
Let me see. All right, I'm still waiting. Oh, what does your family think, or your wife? What does your wife think about your collecting? Did you get to know her before you were nerdy, or while you were nerdy? I guess
I was always nerdy. I mean, she entered like before we got her house. My apartment when you entered had like a pre-made cubby with shelves that had all my masks, and then I had the G.I. Joe prints in my living room above my TV and everything. So it's just like you entered, you knew.
Okay, that's good. So you knew she was the one, right? Because she didn't run away.
Yeah, now she has a wall of Harry Potter pops because she's a huge Harry Potter fan, and I spoil her with miscellaneous Harry Potter pops if she doesn't have it.
Yeah, my girls are huge Harry Potter fans, every single one of them. And I snookered my wife because I didn't collect anything when we started dating. She thought I was the athlete. Oh, the athlete. Not, I'm the nerd too, playa.
I remember your Stormtrooper army building. Come on now.
Yeah, but I've been married a lot longer than that. She had no idea. Let me see. Which Stargate series is your favorite, and why is it? And why is it Universe? Which Stargate series is your favorite? That's from Shoki.
The SG-1? Is that one? Stargate SG-1? Is that one? Am I thinking that right?
I'm out of my element on that question, so I can't help you.
I'm thinking it's Stargate SG-1. If I'm not mistaken. And then it went into, I think, Atlantis. But I mean, it was I think an underrated series in my opinion.
Very good. Let me see. All right, so there's been a lull in the questions. I'll give it a few more. Oh, he says he's bringing up conversations that you have previously had with him.
We had a very.
He's a plant. He's a plant.
We had a very good conversation about how just like how everything was all linked together, and it was crazy.
All right. What Jose Cordero? See, I can pronounce it correctly. What figure would you like to see done? And on top of that, let's do that. What figure are you wanting to? Let's keep it to a Marvel Legend or a Black Series. Which one do you want to see done? And which figure that's being released that you know about are you mostly interested in acquiring?
What I'm mostly interested in acquiring, that little Days of Future Past, the little sneak peek Sentinel thing that was out, but I doubt I'll get that because it's probably some exclusive to a convention, and I'm not very good at getting something that would be created, I would like to see. It would be horrible to do, but like because it would be bad. I would love to see a GI Joe 6-inch line. Like honestly, like Hasbro has all these molds and stuff that they can use, but if they did that, I'd have to sell like everything just to make room for it.
Nice. I think that Sentinel, it's one that they did for the 3 3/4 inch line, so it may not be an exclusive. I think it's a Toys R Us exclusive. I think I read that somewhere that it's a Toys R Us exclusive.
Are paying to get a hold of. I haven't even seen the Claw 2-pack, and then I see people like getting that Ghost Rider and the bike and stuff, and I'm like, man.
Do you want the Claw 2-pack?
I want to get the Claw 2-pack, yeah.
Well, I think it's still in my Toys R Us, and there's a bunch of them. Last I looked, you want me to pick it up for you?
Hit me up. We'll talk.
You tell me, player. You hit me up if you want it. I'll go
right.
hunting for you, and I'll make it part of Brockonomics, because that way, I'll scratch my hunting itch, and then I'll get you the thing that you want. I passed on it. The Claw figure looks cool. The figure packed in there also looks really good. Actually, that's a really nice looking figure, but I have no attachment to it, and I got to limit myself. I got to say no.
Yeah, with Brockonomics, you got to say no.
You got to say no. Oops, I got to click that. Michael asks, if you could work for any toy company, which toy company would you choose?
Ooh, any toy company. Now is that like what would I be doing there? I guess that would be the main question. Like,
let's say you were running the show.
I know.
Let's say you're running the show.
I'd probably say, I mean, they could use my help. I'd probably say Playmates. Playmate Toys.
The Nightwalker asks, would you buy a Slipknot set if they ever make them as figures?
I mean, I don't think I would. The set of figures that I really wanted to get when Kid Robot did like the Gorillas, they did a couple sets that looked awesome. I mean, the Slipknot ones would be pretty cool to have them on display. It's just, I don't know how they would be. I mean, I think I'd be overly picky on them, on their designs and like paint and stuff, because I would expect them to be like perfect.
Okay. All right, guys, we have time for a couple more questions. Well, let's say 2 more questions if you guys have them, and then we'll be closing all. Here we go. Chicken fried steak. Have you ever driven a 1-stack Mack with a sack shack in the back, all the way to Hackensack and back? Come on back. I think that's a line from a song. Is that a song, dude? You're lost? Okay, we're skipping that one. Chicken fried steak.
Wonder what chicken fried steak tastes like.
Chicken fried steak?
Yeah, I never had it. I don't think I've had it.
I think I've had it. I think it's pretty good. He obviously likes it.
Right. Talking about Max and Sacks and Backs and Drax and stuff like that.
He's laughing.
But
all right, one last question, guys, and we're gonna call it an evening. I think we're on a little bit of a delay. They're just reacting to you never having chicken fried steak.
I might have. I don't recall it. Like, is it like a breaded steak?
Yeah, that's what it's like a flat.
Oh, then I probably had it then.
Pounded down chicken. Shoki says, "Dude, come on to Texas. I'll hook you up with the biggest chicken fried steak ever."
Dude, if I go to Texas, man, it's gonna be barbecue, and then it'll just be as a after dinner mint. We can add a chicken fried steak on top.
Nice. Yeah, apparently it's CB Trucker Talk. No experience, pal. I'm lost.
You know, my dad had a CB in his truck, and I used to get on it and just do stupid stuff. Help people win prizes. And
I believe if I'm not wrong, I think that's Joshua Hawley, and he's quite the character. I think I need to have Joshua on here. What do you guys think? Josh,
get as many people as you want on here, man.
Oh yeah, I think I'm going to be contacting Joshua for a little spot. I just have to give him more time. I'll be going back to work soon, and I sometimes work on Saturdays, and this is when I need to do them. All right, so since there isn't any more questions, we're going to end the show right there. I want to thank Mr. Art Yoel, Unboxing Art, for being a guest on my show today. It was great. Art, why don't you let them know where they can find you on social media? I'm going to put the link to his YouTube channel on the video description. Let us know, Art, where can they find you? Where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Unboxing Art. And I think I'm going to make an Instagram, sort of separate it from my own personal one and just do strictly unboxing art, so where I could be a little bit more creative and not just do thumbnails, but maybe do some like figure photography and do some creative stuff like that, just fun stuff. But for right now, YouTube, Unboxing Art. If you subscribe and you have a channel, I'll subscribe back. Just let me know, and yeah.
Boom, and that is it. Thank you for joining me in Life with Brock. Remember, tomorrow, special release. Special, and by being I mean special, it's going to be special.
Wait. I can't wait.
I think it's going to be. You guys will enjoy it. It's not very long. It's a Super Bowl commercial you don't want to miss, boys or girls. Actually, don't let your ladies see it. Seriously, do not let your ladies see tomorrow's video. Do not, for your own sake. Okay, I don't want to be the thorn, the board that goes between. Okay. But anyways, check that out. I am running a giveaway on my channel right now. Go check out that video. I think I titled it something like something about street dates or a joke or something like that. Go check it out. I'm running a giveaway. Next week, I will be announcing the winner live on YouTube with my guest, Doodog, next week. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Later.